the day after Christmas, and yesterday we spent a lot of time with family, cashing in on a little of that cultural capital that we built over the years. Cultural capital is sort of the
Merry Christmas.
The pinnacle. It's the soil that humans flourish in. At the end of the day, it's kind of the whole point. So today we wanted to talk about financial capital, and not because it's more important than the other forms of capital, it's just that it's the one most people think of. Financial capital is non-physical. It's derived from contractual claims. It's usually more liquid than other forms of capital. You can usually easily trade it for just about anything. It's things like shares of stocks, bonds, which are basically IOUs, certificates of deposit. It could be bank deposits like savings or checking accounts. Not to be confused with currency. Currency is different. Currency is the printed notes or coins that are in your pocket. Those are forms of currency. We normally have about 45 inches of rain a year here outside of Greenville, Texas. This year, man, I think we've already had 49, 50 inches of rain, and we only have a few more days left, but the sky's trying to get another thunderstorm in. I spent about 20 years in the financial planning industry, and so when I think about financial capital, all kinds of sales pitches and talking points come to mind. There's no end to the videos you can find on YouTube talking about allocating your assets, planning for retirement, or the different vehicles you can put your financial capital in, like 401ks and IRAs and the tax strategies. I mean, it just goes on and on. But what I think I want to talk about is water. It's fitting because so many financial and banking terms relate to water. You have cash flow and currency, and these flow between the banks. There's liquidity and the idea that money is channeled like water or it dries up. People can be above water or in over their heads, and they have to be bailed out. Analogies offer access to new levels of understanding, but also they lead to information loss. So we have to have eyes to see and ears to hear. The water cycle in broad strokes looks like this. The rain comes down and it does one of two things. It either evaporates or it makes its way to the ocean as quickly as it can. It's starting to sprinkle. To paraphrase Bill Mollison, who's one of the founders or a founding father of permaculture, I'll leave a link to something about him in the comments. He said there's plenty of water if we define how we store it and use it very carefully. Now, how can we store it? The soil is the sort of biggest container that we can use. And ways we can add to that is by adding organic matter so it's loose and fluffy and absorbent. We can mulch to keep it from evaporating. We can plant trees and other vegetation to help shade it and to absorb water into their system. We can create pits and swales. A swale is a ditch that's dug on contour, meaning all at one elevation, so when water runs into it, it spreads out through the land. We can build ponds and dams. We can catch water off of our roof and store that. It's pretty clean. We can reduce how much we put into our sewage system For instance, we could have our sinks that we wash our hands in drain directly into the toilet tank, and we could use that water twice before it goes into the sewer system. So there's lots of ways and little things we can do to store, slow down, and sink water for our use. If we use water as an analogy for financial capital, then think of your family as one small patch of land. Think of your community as a collection of small patches of land. Income is like the rain, which it's really starting to do now. I gotta hurry. Evaporation is like inflation. We haven't talked about that in this video, but I'm going to leave a link in the description to a guy named Mike Maloney who does a pretty good job. It's called The Hidden Secrets of Money. I'll let him explain it. Runoff, where the water's running as quick as it can to the ocean, that's like spending. So the question becomes, how can we slow down, sink, and store financial capital as a family or as a community? This isn't the easiest way of making compost, but this is the fastest way that I know of. And at the end, I'll have good soil and my plants will thrive.